Chapter 728. Yumi's men crowded around her at once, and a fierce battle began to unfold. Yumi did not participate in the fight. Instead, she watched over the battle intensely. Wilbur was currently in the middle of a duel against Cyrus. An explosion rang through the air, and Cyrus' sword was crushed upon deflecting Wilbur's blow. Both men took a step backward, and Cyrus grimaced at Wilbur. "You filthy lowlife, you will tremble in the face of death and face your demise as you deserve to." Cyrus opened his mouth all of a sudden, spitting out a dagger. The dagger was completely black in color. It was covered densely in runes, emitting a terrifying aura as soon as Cyrus held it. "Be careful, sir. That's a ghost sword. It had the power to decay anything," Yumi shouted. There were too many ninjas in the room, and many of her men were already injured. Yumi had no choice but to join the battle, two swords appearing in her hands as she slashed her way into the battlefield. Beanie followed closely behind her, protecting Yumi from behind. Wilbur frowned. The dagger was indeed something out of the ordinary, and he could feel its aura of decay. In fact, the ground that Cyrus was standing on, as well as the stray bits of wood from the broken door, had already begun to decay upon coming into contact with the dagger's aura. Cyrus laughed like a madman, the spiritual flames on his body surging as he charges towards Wilbur wielding the dagger. Wilbur took out his thunder cleaver, swinging it over in one strong sweep. With a loud clash, Cyrus was chopped into two halves. Wilbur was stunned for a moment. Just then, however, a powerful aura of decay came wafting over from behind him. In front of Wilbur, the two halves of Cyrus that Wilbur had slashed through had turned into two stubs of wood. The clothing on Wilbur's back melted away at once as the aura of decay pierced through his skin along with the blade of the dagger. Wilbur spun around at top speed, swinging his cleaver against Cyrus's neck. With another thud, Cyrus disappeared into thin air. The ghost sword seemed to be controlled by an invisible force, spinning around Wilbur's waist in circles. Not bad, Wilbur thought. Combining ninja arts with martial arts was pretty impressive. However, Wilbur's Goldie training form was not to be underestimated either. As his spirit energy spread out, Wilbur took a meter-long step to the side as he swung his thunder cleaver in what appeared to be the air on his right. The thunder cleaver collided with the ghost sword loudly, letting off an explosive noise. Cyrus appeared clutching the ghost sword, stumbling backward as he stared at Wilbur in shock. "That's what you're proud of," Wilbur sneered. Cyrus was livid, roaring as he exploded with spiritual energy. A ray of sword energy shot out of the ghost sword, filling the air with a terrible stench. All the plants and anything in the house that was made of wood began to rot at once. The other people fighting had no choice but to use their spiritual energy. If they did not do that, they would begin to decay themselves upon coming into contact with the aura until they turned into corpses. Wilbur stared coldly at Cyrus. Cyrus laughed wildly. "The ghost sword has been in the Gardner family for years, and no one has been able to go against its aura of decay. I'd be careful if I were you, or you'd become a pile of rotting flesh that even FLIs wouldn't go near." "It's pretty impressive," Wilbur said with a smile. "I'll make a fine sacrifice, actually." "What did you say?" "You won't get it, you piece of garbage," said Wilbur calmly. Cyrus was furious. He disappeared into the air, and dozens of blades appeared behind Wilbur. Wilbur sneered coldly. His thunder cleaver hissed and cracked as he spun around and swung the cleaver over.